Happy trails. The homely gas clerk loved donuts with big gulps and smoked 2 cigarettes during each short break. She had no benefits, but did get diabetes at 35, already 70 pounds overweight. She was dismissed for missing shifts too often, to sit in line for hours down at the local ER. The righteously conservative evangelical developed a hungry colon cancer. He sold off his plumbing company in New Jersey and moved into a brand new Florida condo. He still talks to his personal savior and listens to the Fox there, bedridden on the 3rd floor. The engineer worked as if it really mattered or meant something for way too many years. He is summarily dismissed early one hot and bright July morning. He shuffled out with his treasured technical books and detailed plans for a retribution that would never take place. Mother nurtures her man-child who comes quite handsomely of age. That son is then very suddenly conscripted to join a war a world away. Mother grows old in a hurry, just waiting for a word. The soldier trains diligently with his unit to kill and not be killed together. He dies wincing in pain without ever seeing his enemy. His comrades resolve that no matter what their cause, he must not die in vain. The farmer toils quietly in the spring and throughout a long, hot summer. Then the army comes with guns and takes away his harvest. In a late December darkness, the farmer must sadly eat the seeds for next year's planting. The programmer works under constant pressure, always behind on some artificial deadline. His mind still racing, he sits too quietly and alone in his empty room. He realizes shortly that all his feverish work has left him with less than nothing. The old career politician retires with all the due honor of his esteemed peers. He goes back to the place he called home, where he hasn't really lived for 30 years. He finds he has no more deals to cut, statements to make, or favors to repay. An aging salesman is kicked to the curb when he no longer meets his quota. He still shaves and dresses neatly, with a new joke for every morning. But there will be no more responses to his numerous inquiries for positions. That senile doctor made foolish errors that others had to cover up. The medical society quiets the furor and drafts his retirement letter. Now the people merely smile when he gruffly orders them around. The captain of industry is dismissed from his lofty penthouse suite following a financial scandal. His golden parachute floats him down into a wondrous sunset. He lies awake, safe in his locked compound, avenging the imagined slights of former suck-ups. A common day laborer cannot keep up the grinding pace in the terrible heat. He is no longer chosen from the long line of illegales seeking work. His dreams of returning home to buy a little hacienda must now be forgotten. A lawyer grows disgusted with the person he has become. He is sickened by his greed and the alcohol-laced emptiness of his work. His mind, however, seeks a judicial remedy for the self-loathing that has filled him. The former bomber pilot flying for the airlines faces a mandatory retirement. He looks forward to his well-earned and very generous pension and expensive travel perks. Villages that he bombed so long ago from far above without even seeing still remain in the Stone Age. The dissipated real estate agent finally loses her last listing. She no longer has any glamour left with which to con them like she used to. Yet she cannot forego her lifestyle and quickly falls hopelessly into a foolish credit card debt. A once razor-sharp professor has his class load reduced to nothing. His agile mind was the envy of both faculty and students. Now he quizzes his patient wife many times a day regarding what they'll have for dinner. The one-time all-star athlete hung on until he was unceremoniously released. He misses the adulation and has no other interests, skills, or savings. So he drinks and gambles and sells some autographs until his liver simply fails. The man of God who for years led us down the righteous path is gone. He is but the shrunken, almost comic image of his once imposing figure. His children quarrel nastily over the estate and the income his name still produces. Though he was a handsome leading man, now he is even denied a grandfather's bit part. His loyal agent left him when he broke his hip and had to get a wheelchair. His young wife spends time with her gigolo as others manicure her tiny snow-white poodle. A teacher for almost 40 years, she still lectures anyone who happens by. She is active in the church and volunteers at election polling places. Occupied by the young for so long, now she strives to comprehend new lessons of her own. A happy-to-grovel middle manager, he was despised by both his direct reports and his bosses. They downsized him cleanly off their crisp new org chart without a second thought. Those at the top reap bonuses, and he finally got a part-time job, temporarily in interior lighting. The office bitch who terrorized us all for 20 years but worked her ass off has finally gone to pasture. Her aggressive honesty a spiny affront to the false political correctness which we all hid behind. But as it finally turned out, she did have something better to do than to simply irritate us.